Your mind is your most powerful weapon. But most people walk through life with a dull blade, unfocused, distracted, and soft. You sharpen it through discipline, through repetition, through silence. Every thought you allow in either strengthens or weakens your edge. This audiobook is your training ground. You're not here to feel motivated. You're here to become unstoppable. So sit down, breathe, and prepare to sharpen the only weapon that decides everything: your mind. Chapter 1. Control your inner voice or be controlled by it. Your mind is a battlefield. The war doesn't happen out there, and it happens in here, inside your head, every single day. You wake up, and before you even move, the voice starts talking. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it screams. It tells you what you can't do. It tells you what might go wrong. It tells you you're not ready, not enough, not capable. That voice is not your enemy, but it can become one if you let it. Your inner voice can destroy you or rebuild you. It can drag you down, or it can push you forward. The question is, who's in control? You have a choice. You can train that voice, or you can be trained by it. You can lead your thoughts, or you can be led by them. There is no neutral ground. That's the truth most people don't want to face. Your inner voice already runs your life. Every hesitation, every excuse, every emotional spiral, all of it begins in the mind. You think you're reacting to the world, but you're not. You're reacting to your story about the world, the one written by your own inner dialogue. That's why mental discipline isn't about motivation. It's about mastering language, the language you use with yourself. Say this with me. I control my thoughts. My thoughts do not control me. Again, I control my thoughts. My thoughts do not control me. You repeat it until it becomes truth. That's the key. Every soldier knows it. Every athlete knows it. Every high performer, monk, and leader. They all train their language before they step into the arena. Before a Navy SEAL goes to battle, he's already fought that battle in his mind. Before an Olympic sprinter steps onto the track, she's already heard the voice say, "You've got this." Because if your mind breaks, your body follows. The difference between the strong and the weak is not talent. It's training, mental training. The strong have taught their minds to obey. The weak have surrendered to their mind's emotions. When you wake up in the morning, that voice is waiting. It's testing you. It asks, are we leading today or following? And every time you choose to stay in bed, to skip the hard work, to delay your goals, you've given that voice more power. You've confirmed its control. But every time you act despite the voice, you reclaim authority. Every rep in the gym, every focused hour of work, every time you choose silence over emotional reaction, you're training your inner dialogue to serve you, not sabotage you. You have to stop thinking of your thoughts as truth. They're not. They're impulses, signals. Sometimes they're useful. Most times they're noise. Your job is to filter, to edit, to command. When your mind says, "I'm tired," you say, "We go anyway." When it says, "I'm scared," you say, "We move forward." When it says, "I can't," you say, "Watch me." That's how warriors think. That's how leaders think. That's how you build internal control. You don't need permission to take control of your mind. You just need awareness. Awareness is power. Because once you see the thought, it loses its control. The undisciplined mind lives in reaction. The disciplined mind lives in command. The undisciplined mind says, "This is too hard." The disciplined mind says, "Hard means progress." The undisciplined mind says, "I'll do it later." The disciplined mind says, "I'll do it now." The undisciplined mind says, "I'm overwhelmed." The disciplined mind says, "One step at a time." It's not about motivation. It's about structure. It's about consistency. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-talk. So sharpen it. Every day, start the morning by speaking truth. Not fear, not weakness. Truth. Say to yourself, "I am in control. My focus is mine. My emotions obey me. My mind is my weapon." You repeat those words because repetition builds identity. Identity builds behavior, and behavior builds destiny. That's why I say, your inner voice is the command center of your life. If it's weak, you're weak. If it's strong, nothing can shake you. When you face pressure, you must already know what your mind will say. It must be trained, automatic, controlled. Think about the soldier under fire. He doesn't panic because he's rehearsed the voice of calm in chaos. Think about the surgeon in the operating room. She doesn't freeze because she's trained her inner voice to speak precision, not panic. That's what you're building here. You're not chasing motivation. You're constructing command. Your thoughts are not random. They are patterns. And every pattern can be rewritten. Every time you interrupt negativity, you're rewriting code. Every time you replace "I can't" with "I will," you're reprogramming the system. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you're sharpening the edge. You don't silence your mind. You direct it. That's the difference. Don't let the modern world convince you that overthinking means awareness. Number. Overthinking means you've lost control. Awareness means you've taken it back. The world doesn't need more people who feel everything. It needs people who can command what they feel, who can hold the line internally when chaos hits externally. You have that power. You've just forgotten it. And this chapter is your reminder. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. You are the commander. You are the one holding the weapon. So from this moment forward, speak with discipline. Think with discipline. Respond with discipline. When your mind tells you to quit, train it to whisper, "One more." When your emotions flare, train them to bow to reason. When fear speaks, remind it who's in charge. Say it again, I control my thoughts. My thoughts do not control me. Say it when you wake. Say it when you fail. Say it when you win. Because mastery is repetition, and repetition builds truth. You are building a weapon, one thought at a time, a sharper weapon, a quieter weapon, a weapon that cuts through fear, doubt, and distraction. That's the mind of discipline. That's the beginning of mastery. You've learned the first rule. Control your inner voice, or be controlled by it. You've taken back command. Now, it's time to test that control. Because every sharp mind must face resistance. You've trained the voice. Now let's train the environment. Chapter 2. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort. It feels good, doesn't it? Warm, easy, safe. But let me tell you the truth. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. It doesn't destroy you in one big explosion. It erodes you slowly, quietly, one easy choice at a time. You think you're resting. You think you're protecting yourself. But what you're really doing is dulling your blade. Every comfort weakens your edge. Every time you choose easy, you surrender a piece of your strength. Every time you avoid discomfort, you lose a layer of resilience. You have a choice. Every morning, every decision, to sharpen or to soften, to step forward or to stay the same. That's the key. You can't build power in the place where you feel safe. You can only build power where you feel pressure. Pressure shapes you. Discomfort forges you. Comfort destroys you. Think of your mind as a blade, sharp when challenged, dull when idle. When you live in comfort, your edge begins to rust. When you live in discipline, your edge becomes unbreakable. That's the truth. And here's the rule. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Always. You can't grow sitting in the same chair, having the same conversations, feeling the same emotions, and living the same day on repeat. If you want to evolve, you must seek discomfort, not avoid it. Seek it, because discomfort is the sharpening stone. It's the resistance that polishes your focus. It's the fire that tempers your steel. Look at anyone who has built something extraordinary. An athlete, an entrepreneur, a monk, a soldier. They all live by the same truth. Comfort is the enemy. A Navy SEAL once said, "Get comfortable being uncomfortable." That's not a slogan. That's a lifestyle. It means you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop seeking easy days. You stop praying for less challenge and start training for more strength. Discomfort is not punishment. It's the process. It's the signal that says you're growing. But you've been told the opposite your entire life. Find balance. Take it easy. Don't push too hard. Wrong. That advice is for people who want average lives. That advice is for people who want a dull blade. You're not here to live comfortably. You're here to live with purpose. And purpose demands pressure. It's not about pain for pain's sake. It's about growth through resistance. It's about earning strength instead of wishing for it. So let's talk about real, daily discomfort, what it looks like, and how you build it into your life. You don't need to climb a mountain or run a marathon to train discomfort. You can start with micro discomforts. Small daily acts of resistance that train your mind to stay sharp. Wake up early when your body wants to sleep in. Take a cold shower when your comfort says, "No, not today." Choose silence over distraction. Sit alone with your thoughts instead of escaping into noise. Say no to comfort food when you're bored. Say yes to one more rep when you're tired. These micro discomforts don't just train your body, they train your mind. They build the reflex that says, "I move even when I don't feel like it." That's the foundation of mental toughness. You see, the goal isn't to love discomfort. The goal is to stop fearing it. When you stop fearing it, you stop avoiding it. And when you stop avoiding it, you start growing. Every successful person you admire learned to stop chasing comfort. Because comfort is addictive. It gives you the illusion of peace while stealing your power. The more comfort you seek, the less capable you become. The more resistance you embrace, the more unstoppable you become. That's the trade-off. You can't have growth and comfort in the same space. One must die for the other to live. Choose which one dies. Comfort is seductive. It whispers, "You deserve to rest. You've done enough." But that whisper is a lie. You haven't done enough until your potential is empty. You haven't done enough until your edge cuts through doubt. So stop asking, "How can I make this easier?" Start asking, "How can I make myself stronger?" You don't need to live in constant pain. You just need to live in constant challenge. That's how you grow. Let's look at nature. The tree that bends in the wind grows stronger roots. The body that lifts heavy weight builds stronger muscle. The mind that faces stress builds stronger discipline. Discomfort is nature's tool for evolution. And yet, humans spend their lives running from it. That's why most people never change. They mistake comfort for happiness. Comfort feels like peace. But it's not peace. It's paralysis. Peace comes from control. Comfort comes from surrender. And the difference between them is discipline. When you choose discomfort, you're not punishing yourself. You're sharpening yourself. You're building a mind that doesn't panic when things get hard. You're building a body that obeys command, not comfort. You're building a will that doesn't bend to pressure. And that's the real reward. Not the result, not the applause, the becoming. That's what comfort steals from you. The process of becoming powerful. Every time you choose the easy route, you rob yourself of the version of you that could have been built. You rob yourself of your sharpness. You have a choice. You can live as a dull blade, smooth, safe, forgettable. Or you can live as a sharpened weapon, disciplined, dangerous, and alive. When your body aches, remind yourself, this is sharpening. When your mind resists, remind yourself, this is sharpening. When life feels heavy, remind yourself, this is sharpening. Repeat it until it becomes your code. Discomfort sharpens me. Comfort weakens me. That's the truth most people never accept. But you're not most people. You're training your mind to become unbreakable. You're building a weapon. Every cold shower, every early morning, every hour of solitude, every silent decision that no one sees. It's all part of the process. Because you don't need recognition to grow. You don't need applause to stay disciplined. You don't need their permission to do what's uncomfortable. Comfort is a cage. Discipline is the key. The world will tell you to relax. But remember, comfort is the enemy, and the enemy wears a smile. So choose the hard path. Choose the cold water. Choose the silence. Choose the extra mile. Because those choices sharpen you. You want strength? Seek struggle. You want clarity? Seek silence. You want peace? Seek pressure. You don't find greatness inside comfort. You find it inside resistance. That's where transformation begins. That's where the weak become warriors. You've learned to see comfort for what it is, the enemy. Now, you know that every easy moment is a test. Every challenge is a forge. And when you walk toward discomfort, you walk toward your power. You've chosen to sharpen your edge. You've chosen to live awake. Now that your body and mind have felt the pressure, it's time to control what follows next. Your focus. Because power without focus is wasted energy. You've conquered comfort. Now it's time to train precision. Chapter 3. Focus is a muscle. Train it daily. Focus is not a gift. It's not something you're born with. Focus is a muscle. You build it or you lose it. And most people? They've let theirs rot. Every notification, every scroll, every ping. It eats a little piece of your mind. You think you're multitasking, but you're not. You're bleeding attention. You're leaking energy. And over time, that leak turns into a flood. That's why you feel tired all the time. That's why you can't finish what you start. That's why your dreams sit in drafts, collecting dust. You have a choice. You can keep living like a passenger in your own mind, or you can take the wheel. Because here's the truth. Focus is freedom. Distraction is decay. Focus gives you your life back. Let's break this down. The myth of multitasking. They told you multitasking was productive. They lied. When you split your focus, you split your power. You become half present everywhere and fully effective nowhere. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain pays a price. It takes minutes, not seconds, to refocus. That's the tax of distraction. You think you're saving time, but you're burning it. You don't need to do more. You need to do one thing. Fully, completely, fiercely. That's the key. Train your focus like a sniper, not a machine gun. A sniper waits, breathes, and pulls the trigger once, with precision. You should do the same. When you sit down to work, eliminate noise. Put your phone in another room. Close your tabs. Kill your notifications. Do not negotiate with distraction, because distraction is not harmless. It's theft. Every scroll steals a piece of your destiny. Every random click robs you of your greatness. You have to decide, right now, who gets your attention, the world or your work. You have a choice. The daily training ground focus is built in the small moments. The moments when you resist the urge to check your phone. The moments when you stay in the discomfort of boredom. The moments when you say no, even when it's easy to say yes. That's your training ground. Every act of focus is a rep. Every distraction you defeat is a win. Start with time blocks. 1 hour. No interruptions, no side tabs, no breaks. Just you and your task. At first, your mind will fight back. It'll itch for stimulation. It'll crave escape. That's normal. It means you're retraining your brain. You've been feeding it junk, endless noise, dopamine hits, chaos. Now you're giving it silence. And silence feels uncomfortable when you've forgotten what peace feels like. But that's where strength is born. When you learn to sit in stillness, to stay with one thing until it's done. You build power. You build patience. You build mental armor. That's the key. The ritual of focus. If you want control of your day, you must control your mornings. The first hour sets the tone for the next 23. If you wake up and reach for your phone, you've already lost. You handed your focus to the world before you even opened your eyes fully. Instead, start in silence. No music, no screens, no noise. Sit with yourself. Plan your day with intention. Visualize your priorities. This is not a morning routine. This is focus training. You're building the muscle that decides how you think, what you feel, and what you become. Because the truth is, the strongest people aren't those who can lift the most weight. They're the ones who can hold their attention. They don't chase every thought. They don't respond to every beep. They move with purpose. You can build that too. You don't need motivation. You need structure. Create focus windows. Protect them like gold, because they are gold. Your ability to focus will determine everything. Your income, your health, your relationships, your peace. And here's what's wild. Focus doesn't take time. It gives you time. When you work with full presence, what used to take you 8 hours can take 2. That's the secret high performers know. They don't do more. They focus better. Focus is the force multiplier of success. Eliminate the thieves. Let's talk about the thieves of focus. The invisible enemies you let in every day. Social media, gossip, email, drama, noise. They look small. They feel harmless. But they're termites. They eat your foundation from the inside out. You scroll just for 5 minutes. Then it's 30. Then you've lost your morning. Then you feel guilty. Then you lose your rhythm. And that guilt, that self-loathing, that's another thief. It steals your confidence. It convinces you that you can't change. But you can. You just need to guard the gate. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to your evolution. That's the key. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Block 1 hour a day where the world doesn't exist. No messages, no noise, no one else's agenda, just you and your mission. Do it daily. That's your gym. That's how you train the muscle. The discipline of depth. Here's the real power move. Depth. In a world obsessed with speed, go deep. Depth builds mastery. Depth builds identity. Depth builds peace. Anyone can skim. Few can dive. When you go deep into one thing, one skill, one mission, one purpose, you start to command your mind. You start to silence the chaos. And in that silence, you find clarity. That's what most people are missing. Not motivation, not talent. Clarity. Focus gives it to you. Because focus is a filter. It filters out noise, weakness, and doubt until only truth remains. That's the gift of focus. It doesn't just help you work better. It helps you live better. You have a choice. You can keep feeding your distractions, or you can feed your discipline. One grows, the other decays. Focus is freedom. Distraction is decay. Train your focus daily like your life depends on it, because it does. Your success, your peace, your potential, all of it depends on how well you protect your attention. You mastered your focus today. Now, let's talk about what happens when the world tries to pull you away from your mission. Chapter 4. Emotional control is power. When you react, you hand over your weapon. When you stay calm, you keep control. That's the law of power. And most people break it every single day. They explode. They lash out. They panic. They let their emotions hijack their judgment. Then they wonder why they keep losing. Arguments, opportunities, peace of mind. You have to understand this. Emotion is energy. And energy, when uncontrolled, becomes chaos. But when mastered, it becomes power. The goal isn't to suppress emotion. That's weakness in disguise. The goal is to master it, to feel everything, but to choose your response. You have a choice. Always. That's the key. The hidden cost of reactivity. Every time you react without thinking, you lose leverage. You lose clarity. You lose your edge. Think about it. How many times have you said something in anger that you later regretted? How many opportunities have you destroyed because you couldn't stay calm for 5 seconds? That's the cost. And it's higher than you think. Reactivity is emotional debt. You spend power you don't have. You drain your future for a temporary feeling. When you argue to win the moment, you often lose the war. But when you control your emotions, you control outcomes. You can see the battlefield clearly. You can choose your move. That's how leaders lead. That's how warriors win. That's how masters rise. Because power is not loud. Power is calm. Power is collected. Power is the silence before the strike. Emotional neutrality, the state of power. You've been told to be positive. You've been told to stay happy. That's not emotional control. That's emotional fantasy. Emotional control isn't about always smiling. It's about staying neutral when life tries to provoke you. Observe, don't absorb. That's your new mantra. When someone insults you, observe it. Don't absorb it. When life tests you, observe it. Don't absorb it. When your emotions flare, watch them rise and fall, like waves. But don't jump into the ocean. You are the observer, not the storm. You are the driver, not the car. You are the master, not the mood. That's the key. Because neutrality is strength. It means you don't get pulled into other people's chaos. It means you don't let their emotions dictate your actions. They can scream. You stay silent. They can panic. You stay grounded. They can hate. You stay focused. That's what makes you untouchable. The warrior, the monk, and the leader. You want proof? Look at the greatest humans in history. Soldiers in battle, monks in silence, leaders under pressure. Different paths, same mastery. Emotional control. A soldier who loses control dies. A monk who loses control breaks his peace. A leader who loses control loses his people. They all train the same discipline, to respond, not react. When the battlefield explodes, the best soldiers slow down their breathing. When insulted or betrayed, the wise monk smiles, not from weakness, but from understanding. When crisis hits, great leaders stay still, because panic spreads faster than fire. They've learned something most people never will. Emotions are tools. Use them, but never let them use you. That's the key. You don't need to kill emotion. You need to govern it. Anger can be energy. Fear can be awareness. Sadness can be empathy. But only if you remain in control. Emotion without control is destruction. Emotion with control is creation. Training emotional control. So how do you build it? Not by reading quotes, not by pretending you're calm, but by practicing it daily. Step 1. Awareness. You can't control what you don't notice. Every time you feel triggered, name the emotion. Anger, fear, jealousy, frustration. Name it and you weaken it. Step 2. Pause. Before reacting, stop, breathe. Count to 5. Create distance between stimulus and response. That's where your power lives, in the gap between what happens and what you do next. Step 3. Reframe. Ask, what's the lesson here? What's this emotion trying to teach me? Because every emotion has a message. Anger says, a boundary was crossed. Fear says, there's something to prepare for. Sadness says, something meaningful was lost. Listen, learn, but don't drown in it. Step 4. Practice detachment. Stop taking everything personally. The world isn't attacking you, it's testing you. You have a choice. You can absorb the poison, or you can watch it pass by. And step 5. Repeat. Over and over, until calm becomes your default. That's the real training, not in peace, but in chaos. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. But when life hits you, that's the test. When everything falls apart, can you still think clearly? When someone disrespects you, can you stay silent and strategic? When your emotions scream for attention, can you stay still? That's mastery. Why emotional control equals power? Because emotions drive decisions, and decisions shape destiny. If you can't control your emotions, someone else will control you. They'll learn your triggers, they'll push your buttons, and they'll own your reactions. That's how manipulation works. That's how weak men fall. That's how the world wins against you. But when you stay calm, when you refuse to react, you become unpredictable, unshakable, untouchable. People can't control a calm person, because calm is clarity, and clarity is power. The calm person sees what the emotional person cannot. They see angles, options, timing, strategy. While everyone else reacts, they respond. While everyone else panics, they plan. While everyone else shouts, they listen. And in the end, they win. Because power isn't about aggression. It's about control. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You just need your discipline. Final thought. Your emotions are not your enemies. They're signals, not commands. Feel them, study them, but never obey them blindly. When you learn to master your emotions, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing external can defeat you. You have a choice. React and lose power, or stay calm and keep control. Emotional control is power. Never forget that. You've learned to stay calm in chaos. Now it's time to go deeper. Let's talk about the battlefield that destroys most potential. The comfort zone that kills ambition. Chapter 5. Pain is a signal. Not a stop sign. Pain sharpens you. Avoidance weakens you. That's the truth most people refuse to face. Pain is not punishment. It's progress. Every time you feel pain, emotional, mental, or physical, your instinct is to pull away. But that's the instinct that kills growth. That's the reflex that keeps you soft. The people who rise to greatness don't run from pain. They read it, they study it, they use it. Because pain is feedback. Pain is information. Pain is a signal, not a stop sign. You have a choice. You can avoid it and stay weak, or face it and become unbreakable. That's the key. The lie of comfort. We live in a world built to protect you from pain. Instant comfort, instant distraction, instant relief. You feel bored? Scroll. You feel sad? Eat. You feel stressed? Escape. And every time you do, you get weaker. You train your mind to run instead of to rise. You train your body to crumble instead of to carry weight. Comfort has become the modern disease, because every comfort you accept erases a piece of your edge. And every pain you face adds a layer of armor to your soul. You have to understand this. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the proof you're in the fight. No athlete builds strength without soreness. No creator produces art without frustration. No leader earns respect without rejection. Pain is the price of progress. Avoiding it is the cost of regret. You have to decide which one you're willing to pay. Reframing pain. Here's the mental shift that changes everything. Pain is not happening to you. Pain is happening for you. When you understand that, everything changes. The pain of rejection is teaching you self-worth. The pain of failure, it's teaching you resilience. The pain of loss, it's teaching you gratitude. But only if you face it. That's the key. You can't control the pain, but you can control your meaning. You can't control the storm, but you can build your shelter inside it. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about interpreting it differently. When you reframe pain, you reclaim power. Because now, instead of breaking you, it builds you. Say it out loud. This pain is training me. This pain is my edge being refined again. This pain is training me. This pain is my edge being refined. Every repetition programs your mind to stop fearing pain and start learning from it. The biology of growth. Think of muscle growth. When you lift weights, you tear the muscle fibers. That's pain. That's damage. But when those fibers repair, they come back stronger. No tear, no growth. The same rule applies to your mind. When you face hardship, your mental fibers tear. Fear, frustration, exhaustion. But when you recover and adapt, your mind grows stronger, more capable, more disciplined. That's neuroplasticity in action. That's mental training in motion. Pain is not destruction. Pain is adaptation. It's not about talent. It's about tolerance. It's not about comfort. It's about consistency. You have to build your pain tolerance like a muscle. Step by step, moment by moment. Start small. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do one more rep when you want to quit. Stay silent when you want to argue. Each time you face pain and stay still, you sharpen your weapon. Your mind becomes steady under stress. Your emotions become disciplined under fire. That's how warriors are made. Not through comfort, through controlled suffering. The discipline of enduring pain doesn't care about your feelings. but it will always respect your persistence. If you can keep moving forward while it hurts, you are already stronger than 99% of people. Because most people quit the second it stings. They interpret pain as failure. They take discomfort as a sign they're on the wrong path. But the truth is the opposite. Pain shows you're exactly where you need to be. It's the compass pointing toward growth. When it hurts, you're expanding. When it burns, you're evolving. When it challenges you, you're becoming who you're meant to be. You don't need to love pain. You just need to respect it. When you respect pain, it starts to respect you back. It starts to mold you, not destroy you. It starts to polish you, not punish you. Say it again. This pain is training me. This pain is my edge being refined. That's your mantra now. That's your armor. Every challenge, every rejection, every disappointment, it's sharpening your edge. The mental rehearsal of pain. The best performers in the world prepare for pain before it arrives. Soldiers simulate chaos before battle. Athletes visualize fatigue before the race. Monks meditate through discomfort before enlightenment. They don't wait to be surprised by pain. They train for it. That's what you must do. Every day, do something that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Take the cold shower. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. Delay your gratification. Finish what you start. Those are micro pains. But together, they build macro strength. You're teaching your brain that discomfort is not danger. You're rewiring your system to stay calm in struggle. You're turning fear into focus. That's mental endurance. That's self-command. You have a choice. Keep seeking comfort and decay slowly. Or train your mind to embrace friction and grow endlessly. Turning pain into power. Here's the real mastery. Don't just survive pain. Use it. Transform emotional pain into fuel for discipline. Transform physical pain into proof of effort. Transform mental pain into clarity. Pain gives you access to a version of yourself that ease can never reach. The version that stays up late to finish the mission. The version that stays calm when everything falls apart. The version that doesn't need applause, only progress. That's who you're becoming. Not through luxury, through labor. Not through pleasure, through persistence. You don't need to escape pain. You need to evolve through it. That's the essence of strength. Not avoiding the fire, but learning how to walk through it without burning. Pain doesn't make you weaker. It reveals how strong you already are. Final thought. The next time pain visits, don't run. Don't numb. Don't hide. Look at it. Listen to it. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because pain is not the end of your path. It's the sign that you're still on it. When it hurts, you're being refined. When it hurts, you're being sharpened. When it hurts, you're becoming dangerous. Say it again. This pain is training me. This pain is my edge being refined. Remember it. Repeat it. Live it. You have a choice. Run from pain and stay fragile, or face it and become unstoppable. You've learned to see pain differently. Now, let's talk about the rare power that comes when you stop seeking validation and start trusting yourself. Chapter 6. Eliminate weak thoughts before they spread. Weak thoughts are mental viruses. One doubt can infect your entire mindset. That's not a metaphor. That's reality. Your mind is your command center, and every thought you allow inside shapes how you see, act, and perform. A single weak thought, I can't. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Is not harmless. It spreads. It multiplies. It corrodes confidence. It drains focus. It kills momentum. You don't lose because you're incapable. You lose because you let a weak thought stay alive long enough to take root. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your emotions drive your actions. And your actions build your life. That's the chain. That's the sequence. And it all starts in the mind. You have a choice to feed strength or to feed weakness. That's the key. Weak thoughts are viruses, and imagine your mind as a fortress. Every day, ideas try to enter. Some are strong, courage, focus, persistence. Some are weak, doubt, envy, fear. When you let the weak ones in, they don't just sit quietly. They recruit. They spread. They turn your entire mental army against you. One small insecurity turns into hesitation. Hesitation turns into inaction. Inaction turns into failure. And then you call it bad luck. It's not luck. It's infection. You didn't lose because of the world. You lost because you didn't guard your mind. That's the reality most people refuse to face. You are not the victim of your thoughts. You are their gatekeeper. If you don't choose your thoughts will choose you. And they'll always choose weakness first. You have to build mental immunity. You have to destroy weak thoughts the second they appear. That's the discipline. Awareness is the first line of defense. You can't fight what you don't see. That's why awareness is your first weapon. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice the tone. Notice the language. Notice the pattern. Do you speak in strength or in weakness? Do you say, I can't, more than I will? Do you focus on problems more than solutions? Every time a weak thought shows up, catch it. Don't let it blend in. Say it out loud. I see you. I hear you. But you don't belong here. That's awareness. That's self-defense. Because the faster you catch a weak thought, the less power it has. Doubt only grows in darkness. Shine light on it, and it dissolves. That's the key. You have to treat your mind like a clean room. One contaminant can destroy the entire system. So be vigilant. Be ruthless. Be deliberate. Replace, don't resist. Here's where most people fail. They try to fight weak thoughts directly. They try to argue with them. They try to suppress them. But resistance gives weakness attention, and attention gives it strength. You don't resist weak thoughts. You replace them. The human brain can only hold one dominant thought at a time. You can't think, I'm failing, and I'm learning simultaneously. You can't think, I'm weak and I'm training in the same moment. So choose the stronger thought. Replace fear with focus. Replace doubt with direction. Replace self-pity with self-discipline. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't handle this, say, I'm built for this. When you think, this is too hard, say, hard means I'm growing. When you think, I'm not ready, say, I'm becoming ready. You have a choice, weakness or discipline. Choose the second one every time. That's how you train your brain to work for you, not against you. Because thoughts are habits, and habits are trained through repetition. You can't think your way out of a weak mindset. You must train your way out of it. The power of rehearsal elite performers don't just train their bodies. They train their minds through mental rehearsal. Before a mission, soldiers visualize success. Before a fight, athletes see victory. Before a speech, leaders practice composure. They rehearse strength. They rehearse control. They rehearse confidence. Because the brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined experience. When you visualize success, you activate the same neural pathways as if you were living it. That's how confidence is built, through pre-experienced mastery. So what are you rehearsing? Fear or focus? Defeat or dominance? Every time you replay failure in your mind, you're practicing losing. Every time you replay strength, you're programming victory. That's the key. Stop rehearsing your limits. Start rehearsing your potential. Before every challenge, take 60 seconds to visualize yourself calm, focused, and winning. See it, feel it, own it. Then step into the real world with that energy. Because by then, your brain already believes it's true. That's how champions think. That's how you eliminate weakness before it starts. The daily discipline of mental cleansing. You clean your body daily. You clean your space. You even clean your phone. But when was the last time you cleaned your mind? Every day, you're bombarded with weak input. Negative news, toxic people, self-doubt disguised as realism. If you don't detox your mind, it becomes cluttered, chaotic, and heavy. So do a daily mental cleanse. Start your morning in silence. Write down your dominant thoughts. Identify which ones build you and which ones break you. Delete the weak. Reinforce the strong. Meditate on strength. Read about discipline. Speak affirmations out loud. I control my mind. My mind does not control me. I choose focus. I choose resilience. I choose strength. That's not fluff. That's programming. And every repetition reclaims your control. Because the mind is programmable. If you don't write the code, someone else will. You have a choice to be a victim of weak thoughts or a creator of strong ones. The cost of neglect. Here's the danger. Weak thoughts left unchecked don't just make you lazy. They make you fragile. They create excuses. They rationalize mediocrity. They turn dreams into daydreams. You start saying, it's not the right time. I'll try later. I'm not like them. But that's not reality. That's infection talking. You can't build a strong life on weak thoughts. You can't win with a defeated mind. It's not about motivation. It's about maintenance. You must guard your mind like your most valuable asset. Because it is. Every great downfall begins with one weak thought that was never challenged. Don't let that be your story. Final thought. You have to become the commander of your inner world. Your thoughts are your soldiers. Some will fight for you. Some will turn against you. Your job is to eliminate the traitors before they spread. Catch weak thoughts. Correct them. Replace them with strength. That's mental discipline. That's self-leadership. Say it now. I control my thoughts. My thoughts do not control me. Repeat it until it becomes your nature. Because if you win the battle inside your mind, every external battle becomes easier. Eliminate weak thoughts before they spread. And you'll build a mind that cannot be defeated. You've learned how to defend your mind from weakness. Now, it's time to build something even greater. Unshakable confidence through silence. Chapter 7. Discipline is built in the dark, no audience, no applause. Just you and the work. That's where real power is born. Everyone wants recognition. Everyone wants credit. Everyone wants to be seen. But growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when the world is asleep. It happens in the dark, in the quiet, in the solitude where excuses have no home and distractions cannot hide. You have a choice: to chase approval or to chase mastery. That's the key. The illusion of recognition society tells you, work hard and people will notice. That's a lie. Most of the world never notices. Most of the world never cares. If you wait for applause, you will never do the work that matters. You will never push beyond the limits of comfort. You will never discover what you're truly capable of. Discipline is private. It's invisible. It's silent. Real achievement is not built on validation. It's built on consistency. It's built on persistence. It's built on showing up when no one else would. Every champion, every great mind, every relentless performer has one thing in common. They embrace the darkness. They train when no one sees. They grind when no one cares. They sweat, bleed, and sacrifice in silence. And that's why they win. The private grind. Think of the early mornings, the hours before the sun rises, the nights when everyone else is scrolling or sleeping. That is where discipline is forged. When you push through, when your body says stop, when your mind screams later, that is where character becomes unbreakable. Late-night work sessions, early morning runs, repetition without recognition. That is the battlefield where strength is proven. You have a choice: show up only when it's convenient or show up when it's difficult. That's the key. Every minute you commit in solitude compounds. Every drop of sweat you shed when no one is watching counts more than 1,000 claps in public. Because what you do in silence determines what you become in visibility. The mantra of the unseen. You must adopt a mantra. What I do in silence will echo in success. Repeat it. Repeat it constantly. Say it when you wake. Say it when you tire. Say it when temptation whispers, take the easy path. Because success is built from invisible bricks. Every private decision, every unseen effort, every small act of discipline. These are the building blocks of mastery. You don't need validation. You don't need recognition. You just need discipline. Discipline in the dark becomes habits in the light. Habits in the dark become results in the light. And results in the dark become legacy in the light. That's the cycle. That's the law. Solitude as a weapon. Solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is strategy. It's the time when your mind can focus without interference. It's when clarity emerges. It's when the distractions of the world are silenced and your true self can rise. In solitude, you confront yourself. You see weaknesses that applause hides. You feel fears that recognition masks. You face doubts that comfort covers. And when you work through them alone, you strengthen more than your skills. You strengthen your mind. You strengthen your resolve. You strengthen your character. The world will never see these moments. That's okay. Because power doesn't need spectators. It only needs persistence. You have a choice: chase the crowd or chase the craft. That's the key. The early morning advantage. The morning is a sacred battlefield. While others sleep, you can rise. While others scroll, you can sharpen your skills. While others procrastinate, you can dominate your discipline. Early mornings are proof of self-command. When your body says, stay in bed, and you rise anyway, you are proving something to yourself. Discipline is never about comfort. It's never about ease. It's about showing up when the world doesn't care. That's where greatness begins. What you do in these unseen hours compounds exponentially. Every page you read, every word you write, every step you take, they are silent victories. And one day, they will shout louder than any applause ever could. The late-night edge. Late nights are equally powerful. When everyone else has given up, when the world is quiet, you continue. This is the testing ground of endurance. This is the training room of persistence. This is where the strong separate from the weak. When fatigue hits, you push. When doubt rises, you act. When boredom tempts, you commit. Every late-night session is a deposit into your future strength. Every sacrifice now becomes leverage later. Every small act compounds silently until it becomes unstoppable force. You have a choice: quit when it hurts or keep moving. That's the key. Repetition and reinforcement discipline is built through repetition. Consistency in small, private moments. It's the daily grind, the unseen effort, the quiet repetition. No one will witness it. No one will praise it. No one will understand it. And that's exactly why it works. Because the loud world cannot mimic what happens in silence. The weak cannot imitate the private grind. Only those who persist, unseen and unrecognized, rise above. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You only need commitment. Remember your mantra: what I do in silence will echo in success. Repeat it every morning. Repeat it every night. Repeat it every moment you feel weak. That repetition becomes habit. Habit becomes skill. Skill becomes achievement. Achievement becomes power. The ultimate truth: the loudest people rarely achieve the most. The ones chasing recognition are often the least prepared for reality. The ones who excel in silence are the ones who dominate when the spotlight arrives. Because power is forged, not displayed. It is built in darkness, tested in solitude, and revealed in action. You have a choice: seek applause or seek mastery. That's the key. Discipline in the dark makes all other discipline easier. Control your mornings, own your nights, guard your silence, because what you do when no one is watching defines who you are when everyone is. Final thought: your audience is optional. Your approval is irrelevant. Your commitment is everything. Rise early, stay late, train in silence, push through fatigue, overcome temptation. Every invisible act of discipline is a brick in the fortress of your success. Every quiet victory prepares you for the battles the world will see. Say it now: what I do in silence will echo in success. Guard your solitude, protect your grind, respect your private moments, because the darkness is where the weapon is sharpened, and the weapon is you. You've learned the power of the unseen. Now, let's take that power and turn it into unbreakable focus. Chapter 8. Stop negotiating with your mind. Every time you argue with your excuses, you lose. Every moment you debate with your mind, you waste energy, focus, and time. You think negotiation buys you freedom. It doesn't. It buys hesitation. It buys weakness. That's the truth. The mind is designed to protect you. It's designed to keep you safe. It's designed to avoid discomfort. It's designed to justify inaction. Your mind will always argue for comfort. It will always argue for delay. It will always argue for the path of least resistance. You have a choice: to listen to the excuses or to override them. That's the key. The cost of negotiation: most people negotiate with themselves every day. I'll start tomorrow. I'll just rest today. I'm too tired to focus. And they feel clever. They feel justified. They feel like they're making a smart decision, but they're not. Negotiation is wasted energy. It's wasted time. It's wasted potential. Every debate you have with your mind is a moment that will never come back. Every argument gives your excuses power. Every hesitation trains your mind to prioritize ease over excellence. If you want discipline, you must stop negotiating. You have to act first and let emotion follow, not the other way around. Action before motivation. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel ready, waiting until they're inspired, waiting until the mood strikes, waiting until the pain feels minimal. That's exactly what keeps you average. That's exactly what keeps you stuck. That's exactly what keeps you weak. Discipline is not about waiting for motivation. It's about creating it through action. Move, act, step forward. The emotion follows, the clarity follows, the momentum follows. Special Forces soldiers don't wait until they feel brave. They act on command. CEOs don't wait until they feel confident. They execute decisions. Monks don't wait until they feel calm. They sit in meditation, and calm comes later. The lesson is clear. Action precedes feeling. Do first, feel second. You have a choice. Wait for permission from your emotions, or take command regardless. That's the key. The mind will always bargain, understand this. Your mind will always try to negotiate. Take a break. You've earned it. It's too hard right now. Tomorrow is fine, you're not ready yet. Don't start. And if you listen, you will fall behind. Every bargain with your mind chips away at your edge. Every compromise reinforces weakness. Excuses are not suggestions. They are sabotage. You must learn to recognize them instantly. Call them what they are. Refuse their influence. Act anyway. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You only need action. Train the automatic response. Stop debating. Start commanding. Create rules for yourself that bypass negotiation. Wake up at the same time every day. Exercise before you eat. Work before you scroll. Read before you complain. Do these actions automatically. Do them without question. Do them without hesitation. This is how discipline becomes habit. This is how excellence becomes routine. This is how the mind learns that action is non-negotiable. You have a choice. Negotiate endlessly with yourself or program your behavior for success. That's the key. Repetition builds reflex. Special Forces call it the trigger reflex. When a command is given, action follows instantly. Your mind must be trained the same way. When it's time to act, act. No debate, no internal argument, no delay. Repeat this. I act first. Emotion follows. Success follows. Say it every morning. Say it every night. Say it whenever hesitation appears. Your mind will eventually stop arguing. Your mind will eventually follow. Your mind will eventually respect command over comfort. This is not theory. It's applied neuroscience. It's behavioral mastery. It's self-command in action. Stop arguing. Start doing notice. How much of your day is spent negotiating with yourself? Notice how many ideas, tasks, or goals you abandon simply because your mind argued too long. Notice how often hesitation masquerades as strategy or careful thinking. That hesitation costs everything. Progress, opportunity, growth. Stop giving your mind the microphone. Stop debating your excuses. Stop bargaining with hesitation. Command your actions. Follow through instantly. Let results create the confidence, not the other way around. It's not about comfort. It's about discipline. It's not about permission. It's about command. You have a choice. Continue negotiating with weakness or execute decisively. That's the key. Build mental autonomy. To stop negotiating is to reclaim authority over yourself. You decide the schedule. You decide the effort. You decide the focus. When you act without debate, you develop self-trust. When you trust yourself, hesitation dissolves. When hesitation dissolves, results become inevitable. Every time you obey command over comfort, you reinforce the discipline loop. Every action you take without argument strengthens your mental muscles. Every moment of decisive execution compounds into unstoppable momentum. Discipline becomes automatic. Success becomes inevitable. The weak thoughts and excuses no longer control you. Real-world application. Here's what to do immediately. Identify the excuse. Notice the first thought your mind throws at you that slows you down. Call it out. Label it as sabotage, not reasoning. Act anyway. Do the work. Take the step. Make the call. Start the task, without debate. Repeat daily. Repeat consistently. Repeat relentlessly. This is the foundation of mental toughness. This is how leaders, warriors, and high performers operate. This is how you become unstoppable. You don't need motivation. You don't need permission. You only need to act. Final thought. Every argument you have with your mind is time stolen from your future. Every excuse you entertain is power given to weakness. Stop debating. Stop negotiating. Stop questioning. Command your actions. Trust the process. Let execution lead emotion. Say it now. I act first. Emotion follows. Success follows. Remember it. Repeat it. Live it. You have a choice. Listen to excuses and delay your life, or act decisively and take control. That's the key. You've learned to stop negotiating with weakness. Now, let's turn that decisive action into unstoppable focus. Chapter 9. Sharpen through consistency, not motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves. It crashes hard and disappears even faster. You feel inspired one morning, driven one afternoon, and exhausted by evening. You think, if only I felt motivated all the time, I could succeed. That's a lie. Motivation is not the engine of greatness. Consistency is. That's the key. Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't show up in pictures or get applause. It doesn't make headlines. But it builds you. It sharpens you. It strengthens your mental armor. You have a choice. Wait for motivation or create results through consistency. You know the answer. The illusion of motivation. Most people chase motivation like a drug. They wait for inspiration to strike. They wait for feelings to align. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect energy. And while they wait, life moves forward without them. Motivation is unreliable. It is a spark, not a furnace. It is the trigger, not the habit. It is temporary, not permanent. If you rely on motivation, you will fail. You will falter. You will plateau. Consistency doesn't depend on feelings. Consistency doesn't care if you're tired or bored. Consistency doesn't negotiate. It acts. Every single day. The power of routine. Routine is the weapon motivation cannot replace. Wake up, exercise, work, read, plan, execute. Do it every day. Do it even when you don't feel like it. Do it even when the world is noisy and distractions are endless. Repetition is the secret. It builds habits that no amount of motivation could create. It develops mental toughness. It teaches your brain to rely on discipline, not desire. Your brain wants comfort. Your brain wants to rest. Your brain wants to negotiate. But you override it with action. Every day. No exceptions. You have a choice. Follow your feelings or follow your system. That's the key. Consistency overcomes barriers. Consistency is a weapon against doubt. It is a shield against fear. It is a hammer that crushes procrastination. When you act daily, no matter how small, you create momentum. Momentum makes action easier. Momentum builds confidence. Momentum sharpens skill. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is fire. Motivation ignites. Consistency sustains. Every champion, every leader, every great performer understands this. They don't rely on mood swings. They rely on routines. They rely on repetition. They rely on showing up when others would quit. You don't need permission to act. You don't need a perfect day. You only need consistency. Mental armor through repetition. Consistency builds more than results. It builds mental armor. Every day you execute your plan, your self-discipline grows. Every habit you reinforce, your confidence strengthens. Every repetition, your focus sharpens. Your mind learns this lesson. Action is non-negotiable. Your mind learns this lesson. You obey your commands. Your mind learns this lesson. You don't wait for feelings. This is the difference between people who hope and people who achieve. People who rely on motivation hope for the best. People who rely on consistency create the best. You have a choice: hope or create. That's the key. The mantra of consistency. Adopt this mantra now. I don't need motivation. I need consistency. Repeat it. Repeat it morning and night. Repeat it whenever you feel lazy, tired, or distracted. Your brain will argue. Your excuses will protest. Your comfort will whisper. Command action anyway. Act daily. Act deliberately. Act without debate. Consistency is your edge. Consistency is your weapon. Consistency is your guarantee. Micro actions add up. You don't need massive bursts of effort. You need daily repetition. Small, consistent actions compound into unstoppable results. 1 page a day, 1 step a day, 1 call, 1 task, 1 decision a day. It seems small. It seems insignificant. But over weeks, months, and years, it builds an unbreakable foundation. Consistency erases chaos. Consistency creates momentum. Consistency builds mastery. You have a choice: wait for bursts of energy or build habits that outlast motivation. That's the key. Real-world examples. Look at elite athletes. They don't perform because they feel like training. They perform because they train daily. Routine over desire. Consistency over comfort. Look at successful entrepreneurs. They don't wait for inspiration. They execute daily. Tasks completed in silence compound into empires. Look at soldiers, monks, and performers. They don't rely on fleeting emotions. They rely on repetition, practice, and non-negotiable routines. And so can you. You don't need motivation. You don't need approval. You only need to show up every day. The cost of ignoring consistency. When you wait for motivation, you waste days. You waste weeks. You waste opportunities. You see someone else succeed and think, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes a month. A month becomes a year. A year becomes a lifetime of wasted potential. Consistency prevents this. Consistency locks in progress. Consistency creates unstoppable momentum. Your future is built on what you do every day, not what you feel every day. That is the truth. You have a choice: hope for motivation or build through consistency. That's the key. Daily practice for mastery. Pick non-negotiables. Choose 3 to 5 actions that define your growth. Commit to daily repetition. Do these actions at the same time, every day. Track progress, not feelings. Focus on completion, not emotion. Repeat. Persist, obey. Eventually, consistency becomes effortless. Eventually, discipline becomes instinct. Eventually, success becomes inevitable. Final thought: stop chasing motivation. Start building structure. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start acting regardless. Consistency is your shield. Consistency is your sword. Consistency is your power. Say it now. I don't need motivation. I need consistency. Guard it. Respect it. Repeat it. You've learned to sharpen through routine, not feelings. Now, let's combine that routine with relentless focus. Chapter 10. The Quiet Warrior. Mindset. True strength is silent. Power doesn't scream. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't demand attention. The world often confuses noise with strength. But noise is weakness. Noise is insecurity. Noise is a mask. You have a choice: announce your power or embody it quietly. That's the key. Silence is a weapon. Silence is a tool. Silence is strategy. Silence is authority. Loud reactions show vulnerability. Shouting proves fear. Bragging masks insecurity. The quiet warrior does not boast. The quiet warrior does not react to provocation. The quiet warrior moves deliberately, acts precisely, and lets results speak. You have a choice: to react to every insult, every challenge, every distraction, or to act silently with purpose. That's the key. Composure under chaos. Chaos is inevitable. Life throws unexpected problems. People test your limits. Situations spiral. Your response determines your strength. When chaos rises, you do not shout. You do not panic. You do not surrender to emotion. You observe. You analyze. You respond with calculated precision. This is discipline in action. This is mental toughness at work. This is the quiet warrior mindset. Every day, practice composure. Every day, practice restraint. Every day, strengthen your ability to act under pressure. You have a choice: lose yourself in noise or maintain calm in chaos. That's the key. Restraint as dominance. Restraint is power. The ability to hold back, to pause, to think before acting. That is dominance. The loudest person in the room is often the weakest. The one who reacts first is often controlled by circumstance. The one who waits, watches, and acts deliberately, that is the one in command. It's not about impulsivity. It's about calculated execution. It's not about winning arguments. It's about controlling your energy and focus. You have a choice: react impulsively or exercise restraint. That's the key. Examples of the quiet warrior. Look at elite soldiers in battle. They move silently, with precision. They strike at the perfect moment. They don't announce themselves. They let skill, timing, and results do the talking. Look at CEOs who dominate their industries. They do not boast. They do not panic. They act decisively, without fanfare. Look at historical leaders who changed nations. Their power was subtle. Their strength was internal. They moved with purpose, patience, and precision. You don't need external validation. You don't need applause. You only need results. You have a choice: perform for attention or perform for excellence. That's the key. Train the quiet mind. Developing the quiet warrior mindset requires practice. Step 1. Observe more. Speak less. Notice how often words betray intention. Notice how noise masks insecurity. Learn to hold your tongue, let actions speak, and reserve commentary for moments of true impact. Step 2. React deliberately. Every provocation is a test. Every insult is an opportunity. Every distraction is a chance to show control. Step 3. Act with precision. Every move should be intentional. Every decision should have purpose. Every action should contribute to mastery, not chaos. You have a choice: live reactively or live strategically. That's the key. Repetition builds silent strength. Like all mental disciplines, the quiet warrior mindset is built through repetition. Silence in meetings, silence in arguments, silence in moments of stress. Act without fanfare. Prepare without noise. Execute without announcing. Your results will speak louder than your words ever could. Your success will be undeniable. Your presence will command attention without ever demanding it. You have a choice: chase recognition or cultivate invisible strength. That's the key. Mental exercises for composure. Meditate daily. Strengthen your ability to stay calm. Pause before responding. Train your mind to act deliberately. Limit unnecessary communication. Let action and results carry your influence. Every repetition reinforces your internal authority. Every day you act quietly, you build dominance. Every moment you resist reaction, you sharpen your edge. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to react to drama. You only need to act with intention. Life in the quiet lane. Understand this. Life will always tempt you to be loud. Life will always reward the reactive. Life will always celebrate the noisy. But long-term power is never loud. It is internal. It is deliberate. It is consistent. The quiet warrior moves with patience. The quiet warrior acts with precision. The quiet warrior wins without announcing it. You have a choice: participate in chaos or master it silently. That's the key. Closing mantra, repeat this now. I move in silence. I act with precision. I win without noise. Say it every morning. Say it every night. Say it whenever the world tempts you to react. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, your discipline. True strength is silent. True power is internal. True mastery is calm, precise, and unwavering. You don't need recognition. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You only need discipline. You only need action. You only need composure. You have learned the last lesson of this book: the quiet warrior mindset. Move silently. Act decisively. Win without noise. This is your transformation. This is your command over your mind, your actions, and your life. This is the ultimate discipline.